What's going on, my beautiful people? It's your host of the podcast, Just the Tip, Where's the Rest of It, Jules, and your hostess of the podcast, Just the Tip, Where's the Rest of It, Pats. Say hey,
Hi,
Pats.
everybody. I'm back from
Welcome back,
vacay.
Pats. She's back. Yeah, she's back from vacation. Tell us about what happened on vacation. Where'd you go?
I went back to my homeland of Austin, Texas. Went and saw my baby niece. It was her first birthday. Saw family. I also saw my mom and dad. That's always a fun time. My dad and I just tend to get into a lot of mischief whenever we're together.
Let's take a moment
What
to
else is there
introduce
to
our
do in
guest host,
Texas,
this our
though?
guest speaker this week, Jay Santos, my
Hello,
good friend.
hello. Hello,
Say
wonderful
hello, Jay.
people.
Welcome, Jay.
Yeah, so
Thank you,
officially,
Pat.
this is your first threesome on Just the Tip, where you have three hosts for the week. Yeah, it's our first threesome.
Jules is
Welcome,
already getting bored of me, so we had to bring a third in.
Ed.
No, he did not. I promise 100%.
No, we promised guest speakers the whole time, and we knew that we were going to have them eventually. It just took us a while, and while Pat was on vacation, we got that rhythm going with. We had Ashton over. We had our good friend Ashton Williams. We had our friend Casey over. Um, And but for a minute, uh, let's get back to Pat and what you were in Texas hanging out with Dad, and what happened with
Oh,
Dad.
yes. Or
Wherever we go, it's it's always a party. I was, raised in Texas and Austin, and every time I go home, it's hard not to run into somebody that I know. And um,
and then good times follow.
my dad and I saved a lot of money on our outings, to say the
How did you
least.
save money?
Well,
Because she was away, so everyone
I
saw
know.
her.
So we would go. I don't ever tell anybody that I'm coming into town, and I just pop into bars and say what up. And they usually pay for all my drinks. And
Pretty privilege.
The power of the
are you
privilege
gonna
or
say it?
power of
Are you gonna
pussy.
say it? Are you gonna say it?
Say it. The power of the pussy.
The pussy.
She's
Yeah.
got she got pussy power. Pussy popping
My
power.
dad was adding it up.
It's a
He was
mixed
like,
breed
"We saved like $100 today."
Yeah, Dad. That's what happens when you have a vagina. Yeah, and a set of
society.
breasts to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
You get
I
free
am also a
alcohol.
bartender, and I was born and raised in that town and know everybody, as you know, Jules.
Yeah, I know a lot of bartenders that were born and raised in Austin, but can't say that every time they go out, all their tabs are paid. Doesn't really work that way, but well.
I can tell you that does happen here down in San Antonio, though.
So since you were saving a lot of money, let's kind of get into what we were going to get. Were you tipping?
Oh yeah.
You were
I
tipping the fuck out
see,
of
I
people.
always the thing is when I go home, I know my parents are paying and I know they're 20% tippers, but I always have cash on me. So I always throw an extra 10, an extra 20 on top of what they've already tipped.
Nice,
And
nice, nice.
that's just how I am. And most of the time they don't want me to pay for the bill. So I'm like, "Okay, you pay for the bill and I'll tip." And I tip in cash because cash is king.
Oh,
And that brings us to the title of this episode, folks. The title of the episode for the week is called "The Tipping Point" or "The Boiling Point." Which one is it going to be for you? So the tipping point can turn into the boiling point so easily. And why is that, Jay? What Jay has, you're gonna love this, Pats. Jay has a particular view about tipping. So of course, because we live on it and it's our income, we expect people to tip the 20%. But Jay has a different opinion about this. What does Jay have to say about this?
I do find it very interesting, and working multiple different positions in a restaurant in the restaurant industry has led me to see that like tipping isn't inherently the problem.
Sorry.
No, it was supposed to be amplified at that exact moment when I said tipping. That's why, because that's the name of the episode,
Say that again.
tipping.
All
But
right, you two, get to work over there.
but
He said
like as
tipping
much as
isn't the problem.
like as much as us as servers want to sit here and say you should be tipping 20%, which they should, I do agree with that. Um, it's coming from a deeper root of it. We're mainly saying that because we're not getting paid enough. without the tips. It's
So, in
and I feel like
essence, you
mhm.
were saying you don't believe people should have to tip?
I don't feel like they should feel forced to tip. I feel they don't have to. No, when they go out, the tip should be
All right, Jules, you're done using this argument.
because
You're done.
now all servers put
She is
spears to my
canceled.
face,
Jay
but
is canceled.
it should be for good service. It shouldn't be because you need the money.
Okay.
That's why you have a job. The job should be paying you the money to live.
So when
It's
the job is paying us $2.13 an hour,
You're absolutely correct, but it shouldn't be up to the people coming in.
And
Amy,
that's
what do you make
only
an hour?
within certain states. You
Yeah,
guys
Pat,
realize
how much do
that
you make per hour,
because I
Pat?
make $12 an hour as a bartender
Must be
plus my
nice.
tips in
Must be
Florida.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're talking
But
about the cost
then
of living
then
in
we
Florida.
get into the politics of the service industry, and that's not the episode we're in right now.
No.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Right. But still, $12 an hour plus tips, that's a living. You can make a living off that. When you
Yeah,
got us over
we
here
can.
at $2 an hour plus tips,
It's insane.
and then and what
And then you
is
still go to a
But it
restaurant, right? You
also
still go to a restaurant and leave like $2.
depends on where you work because I was in bee caves. I worked in bee caves for almost a decade, over a decade actually. And I
yeah.
worked fine dining the very last 6 years that I was in bee cave. And I was making $75,000 a year with 213 an hour.
As you should.
That
But
was
okay.
how much I was making in tips.
All right, so let's break this down. And I had mentioned to Jay earlier, I was like, I think that during the last few episodes, they've gotten two different versions. They've gotten Julian and Jules. So they've gotten Jules over the children, over the episode with children. They got Jules over the episode about getting fired. Because when Jules comes out, he just tends to kind of, yeah, he
Takes
goes
over.
off. He goes off. So this I want to explain this calmly, and I don't want to make us sound like we're just, money grubbing, you know,
Yes.
yeah, little gremlins. No, that's not what this is about. There is a tipping structure for a reason. Like, let's say 20%. Why do you think that the 20% is in place, Amy? Why do you say that is?
Um, well, there's a lot of things that come into place when 20% is in front of you. You have to pay your bussers, your barbacks, your bartenders, your hosts. There are some places where you actually have to tip out the kitchen. And a lot of that 20%
Ain't shit.
ain't shit.
No.
Okay.
Bitches ain't
Thank
shit
you.
and they ain't saying nothing. Hunter motherfuckers ain't tell me nothing.
And when you get hired at a job, where you're paying almost half the other people and you're at the lowest point of the job totem pole, leave before training ends. Because how
Well,
you
that
treat
would be
everyone around you.
that would be everywhere we go. But unfortunately, or not unfortunately, fortunately for them, the type of people who get hired on as servers are people who just we run shit. We run
Yeah.
this. They look and then that's that other horrible, awful opinion and misconception about our job is that anyone could do it. And it's a menial, they're
No.
menial tasks. It's on the level of like having an assistant. And so, if in fact the job were worth what the tip calls for, the person would be getting paid that much, not getting tipped that much. But no, no one works for free. And in Texas, I think that restaurants love to ensure that a server is going to do their job by not paying them shit. So by paying you $2, they make sure that we're going to go over there and spread your cheeks and lick it real clean before
Oh,
you give us that
Jules,
20%.
stop.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, reel it in, reel it in, reel it in.
Reel it in, Jules. Reel
Okay.
it
It's
in.
Dingleberry
So,
special right there.
so in order to make sure that we do a good job, they don't provide us with the hourly wage that you would say, okay,
Or
so
the tools in general. They don't
true,
supply us
true.
with the availability.
You know what they love to do though? They love to look at who's the best amongst the crew, get that person to train everyone.
Mhm.
and that's usually fucking me. So I'm not, that's why I also have such a heavy
It's
opinion about
also me too.
But
train. Yeah, you know how that is. They single you out. They're like, oh, look, Amy's doing fucking. She could run the to goes, and she answers the phone, and while she's seating people and doing her tables, and she's running drinks at the bar, like you're doing your eights around the restaurant. Just pretty much helping out any and everywhere you can. They see that, and they're like, what do they think when they see that, Jay? What do the managers think?
hey, I need more people like her.
And what do they make that server?
Oh, a trainer.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So they get, in essence, they get to spread those good habits and that good work ethic for free. Again, not paying the trainer shit. They tell, oh no, we did get paid, right? We went from $2 to $3 an hour for training. We got
Oh,
three
and
whole.
you might get a training meal. Might.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're right. You
You
might
get a
get a
you get a
training meal.
meal and an extra
But
dollar
it
an hour.
has to be under $20.
Yeah. For giving away your best secrets of the trade. That
Mhm.
what makes you the 20%,
No,
per
but
table.
the thing is, you don't give away your secrets of the trade. You just give them the basic knowledge, and then you push them out of the nest like a
I'm so
baby bird, and you
not
go,
me.
"Be
I
free."
I give them so many tricks and so many loopholes and so many like, look, just do
No,
it this way. Trust me, and it's gonna be easier every time. I literally taught a fresh new server, fresh off the bat. I trained a fresh off the bat server last week, all week. Never been a server before in her life. I had to train her.
oh, I
Then there was
love
another one.
macaroni weenies.
I love them too because
They're so new. They're so fresh.
yes, you build them with no bad habits. So and
Mhm.
no,
Hopefully, no bad habits. You don't know what their home life is.
well, I had a new one, fresh and
Tacos in the house.
like the
Tacos
Trunchbull would
in
say,
the house.
fresh meat. We had a fresh meat. She was like 18 years old, and she had a screaming, crying baby at her at her
Imagine.
at her table, and she says, "What do I do about the baby?" And I was like, "I love to go and just like pat the baby or rub the baby's back and be like, 'What's going on? What's wrong with you?'" And they'll calm the fuck down. I was like, "But not because you have the magic touch. It's just you're a random adult touching them, then it
Okay, so
freaks
you're
them out.
like,
They're like,
pat, pat the baby, pat,
yeah,
pat.
more of that, Pat. Go shakes the baby. He's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" No, I'm kidding. No, I usually go up to them. I'm like, "What's wrong? Are you the one making all that racket? What's going on?" And I give them a little back rub, and they freak out, and they're just like, the baby just stops.
And they look at their parents, their guardians, and the guardians are just like,
They all of a sudden think you're the fucking child whisperer, and it's like, no, child psychology 101. A random weird adult is over here talking to them when they're throwing a tantrum, and so you fix it. She comes back and she's like, "You were absolutely right. The kid is so happy now." I'm like, "Told you." So I give away my best secrets when I'm training, but because I want them to be successful, and they'll ask me, how do you do that? You get like $20 out of every table or $10 out of small tabs. Really, just go the extra mile. I said it a little differently a while ago. I'm not spreading and licking anything. I'm literally just anticipating people's needs. I'm guessing what they're going to
You're
want
not
ahead of
getting your
time.
knees dirty. Come
Well, not for money, at least.
"What do you mean? That's like the best excuse."
Well, unfortunately, again, I'm very stupid. I give it away for free. Trades, secrets, everything. It's all
But
free.
like it's
Goddamn. Free, free,
it
free.
has to do with passion. Unfortunately, like yes, they do pick y'all out. Because they do see how good you are as an employee. But it comes down to at the end of the passion. Like they see they have a passion for the industry and they want to see if you want to further it. And I'm glad you're one of the people who want to further it by selling your secrets for free. No, not for free, for like $1 more and sometimes a meal.
Yeah.
But
and a back scratch.
and they'll talk really nice to you too before they give you that trainee. Hey, you have this section today because I know you like that section a lot. But hey, heads up,
Yeah.
you have a trainee. He's on day 3, and he's gonna be doing. You need to go.
And and then circle back to our point of this all, tipping. So the customer in turn turns around and sees that
Yes.
you're playing school 101. You're playing school at the table. Do you like it, Pats, when they do that? When you go out to, let's say when you were on vacation and you went out to eat with your family this week, and someone were to walk up and be like, "Hey guys, I'm so and so, and this is Tracy. I'm training her, so she's gonna take
Hello.
over, but I'm gonna be over here like a weirdo in the back just watching." That cool? Yeah. Do you like that?
First off, I'd audibly say, poor Tracy.
I was gonna name
Setting
her
her up for failure
Karen.
at the beginning.
I was gonna name her Karen, but I'm like, it is a tough time
Hi,
to name named
Tracy.
Karen in
I
America.
feel really bad for you. I hope this is a good training experience. If it's not, then you let me. You need to go cry in the walk-in. Just give me the hand signal. Um, no, it's not ideal because I'm not a table sitting person. I am a bartender and I am a bar sitter. I
Ah,
do not like sitting at a table. You can force me, I will do it. Do I like it?
we love that. Thank you,
Understandable.
Pats. Thank you for not doing that because I'm sure that, while Pats is a 40 or 50% tipper, if you see Pats and her dad standing in the doorway and then you see a five top, you're like, I don't fuck that. I don't want that two top. Like, no, hell no. That's probably a $5 tip, you know. Well,
Well, I
here in
love
San
the two
Antonio, at least. In
tops.
San Antonio. If we were in Beat Caves, you never know. In Beat Caves, the ratchet of the rich still leave you $20 for no reason. So it's like
Yeah.
you never had to worry about it. Back to our topic. We're talking about tipping here, and it's not about us being money grubbers, being greedy, being just, wanting something for nothing. No, it's not easy to have just your table, five other tables need to help run food, need to help run drinks, um, cleanings. Cleaning's always
The,
the
the
name
way I
of the
put it is that
game.
how about you go? How about you host a party at your house every weekend, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you provide the food, the drinks, and the music, everything. They just have to come in, enjoy the music. You'll bring them their food, you'll bring them their drinks. Do that every weekend for a month, and tell me you tell me it's not hard work.
Okay, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And the response to that, people are always like, well, they choose that job.
Correct.
So do electricians. So
Who also
do
chose to come and eat here.
dentists. Well, no. Like they say, they choose their job. So they don't. Okay, so they deserve the pay. They deserve the pay they get. Uh, no, it's like I said, the 20% to 20. If you go to a restaurant and your receipt has that breakdown below 20, 18, 15, it's not because they wanted to murder trees and put shit on paper for you to look at. It's because the way
You
that
lack the
restaurant
math
is,
skills to
or
actually
to
know
test
what
your math
20%
skills.
is.
Yes, no. The point is, they're letting you know several people were involved in your dining experience today. There's a busser that's going to clean up the table that you let your baby junior son of a bitch smash his cereal all into and left that
Mashed potatoes
stupid sticky
everywhere.
mat on there. And there's a busser that's going to clean that up. There's a hostess that kept track of shit, so that she could seat you at a table where a waiter was going to have time to take care of you, in a timely fashion. The hostess was keeping an eye on who was available and had more time and would be able to get to you quickest. So she's involved in that tip structure. When you ordered a bunch of drinks and you wanted shots and this and that bartender on the other side of the bar is also dipping into the cut of that tip that you leave the waiter. So when you think about it, there's three different people.
Hmm.
So you've got a 3 to 5% tip out, in those places, and that's the lowest structure. Some places have up to like 14% tip out. So you're paying 14% of your money every day to the people working around you. But we're the face. We're the one that shows up, talks to y'all, and
You
gets
know everything
involved. I
about
mean,
that menu, everything about that restaurant, everything about you when you come in because you've probably been here before.
look at these three gorgeous faces on screen right now. These are the people that are look at
Mog
these
Forest.
looking like we wouldn't break a plate.
I need a facial. Y'all come to the villages and tip my ass.
Oh, a facial for Amy though is a Hydra facial. We're not talking just a facial. We're talking
Like,
those
it's like
fucking plasma
it's like
sucks,
400, almost $500 after tip.
made with baby's blood poultice bullshit that she
Yes, look at it.
See, so they
Nothing
use
remains to
they
be
use
done.
they use us. They use us as the okay, it's
Not
not only to crank out them
Beautiful.
sales, they
That's
use us.
old people money right there.
They mess themselves
The
up to make me
village's
pretty.
retirement is all within Amy's cheekbones, darling. All the village's 401k plans were poured into Amy's facials. That's what makes her Pats, darling. She can have the glass of wine in her hand and be
I
ancient and
don't have
nobody.
any wine right now, and I'm really mad about it.
Well, that's why I keep
That does
forgetting
break
it.
my
I keep
heart.
calling you Amy. Without that glass of wine in your hand, I forget she's Pats.
There's
But
a slurp over there.
so we're going back to
What kind of
this.
wine do you drink, Pats?
Pinot Grigio in the day, and Cabernet Sauvignon at night.
That's a pretty
Oh,
My
dry
sandwiches.
wine. Sweet.
what about you, Jay? What kind of wines do you drink?
Exactly what you think. No, I drink sweet red wines. That's what I like.
Oh, he
I
likes
don't really like bubbles,
he
so I
likes
stay away from.
Hangover in a bottle. Got it.
Hmm?
Hey,
Hangover
yeah,
in a bottle.
Yeah,
no, Pats. Jay could never hang with us with bottles of makers, and yeah, we would kill him.
I don't
Oh
do
my
like.
God. My
If you,
dad and I were taking shots because I told you I'm addicted to the Florida tea, but in Texas they call it an orange tea. I was corrected.
Oh, okay.
And I had my dad with me, and I was like, "Hey, we'll get 2 orange teas," and he was like, "Nobody ever orders those. They're so good." And my dad and I had like 3 or 4.
And for those of you listening, what exactly is in an orange tea, Pats?
It's Jameson orange, sour mix, and peach schnapps.
hmm
It's better
Mm.
than a green tea, a white tea. They call it an orange tea, but I live in Florida, so they call it a Florida tea because we're home of the oranges.
Yeah, I
Love
can
it.
see that.
It's so good.
Wait,
But
my geography is wrong. What's
she's not in
Georgia known
California.
for
Oh,
then?
Georgia's the peach.
Peach.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
an orange
so
on my license plate, and there's a peach on the Georgia license plate.
and I imagine that's why this new Jameson orange is on the market, no? To kind of push that drink, the orange
I
tea.
don't know.
The
And
market
we're
for a
getting
while.
off topic. We're gonna
Because
have to talk about the changes in the liquor industry and all of that in another episode because a
About
lot of
tipping.
things are
today
changing.
we're
A
today we're
lot
talking
of
about
things are changing.
why we want your money. No, I'm kidding. No,
No, but yeah, but I'm just saying, like, we'll talk about this generational drinking and all of that in another episode
That
because
isn't
it's
interesting.
a very um
I'm part of that generation that's changing.
crazy thing. Yes,
yes,
it's
Jay
very
drinks weed, alcohol,
Mm.
yeah.
alcohol that has
But
weed
they're
in it.
saying that alcohol's at a large decline.
A lot of us don't pursue alcohol anymore.
Yeah.
But again, that's
And
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's
distilleries are trying to keep up with the times and are spending millions of dollars a year trying to flip flop and
Really?
keep up with the industry. Yeah,
That's some
it's
good
very
industry knowledge right there, guys. You see, it's not just the tip here. We got all of it. We're bringing all of it. No, and like Pat says, we veered off topic a little bit, and that's fine. But um, that let's get into our FTS moment of the week. The fuck that shit moment of the week. You know, I think everyone has one in the service industry. There does come a time where you'll get a table, you'll get something somewhere. So I'm just gonna make you be like, fuck that shit, and just turn around. Like, what's your fuck that shit moment of the week, Pats?
I don't have too many for this week. I was actually pleasantly surprised that I was able to go home and have good food and good service. Um, I from my standpoint, the only thing is that I was looking for more creativity. I'm, you know, living in the villages, Florida, where it's very dull and not creatively cocktail oriented.
Uh-huh.
And we went to a couple of really cool spots, and I was looking for a little bit more creativity, being in Austin. And I was kind of disappointed in that a little bit because it was just lack thereof. Um,
So Austin's not keeping it weird anymore.
No,
it is, but it isn't. It's changed a lot.
What's your take on this, Jay?
I think She's utterly right, and I think the problem is that we're the problem. I think what happened is we went from being Austin went from very cultural, like very rich in culture and art, to needing jobs, and so it was easy to turn it into a city with some art, rather than a creative art city. So you see a lot of tech now growing in Austin, and it's still keeping things weird because unfortunately, tech has like geeks and nerds associated with terms like that, and it still keeps the city weird. It's just not as artsy because they're all into tech now, and it kind of makes me sad because I understand you. Like, I want to see some beautiful things, but it's all kind of just like being taken over by tech.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. The time that I lived there, I started noticing it. We used to have a little following of patrons at Zinger's Bar that were all guys from the tech industry. I think they all worked on, what did they do? Pats. They worked
Yeah,
on.
for Blizzard. It's a lot of the gamers know what Blizzard is. They do War of Warcraft and
No,
Overwatch.
um,
let me tell you that crowd.
a bunch of other things, and it was their sister company. And yeah, they were really cool. They were really some really cool nerds,
They
gamer
were
guys.
cool, but some
Like,
of them really need to learn how to tip. They
yeah,
need to fucking learn. Some of them were actually awesome tippers,
they
and
make
the other
so
half.
much money.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Because they make so much money, 20% of the bills should not be a problem for you.
that just means
No,
what kind of life are you living that you can't afford to tip?
Well,
And
no,
you're
some
they
making all this
can
money.
afford to tip. They just choose not to tip.
and sometimes they just don't know. They haven't been told the reality of our situation. They think that we are getting paid something, or they think that something else will compensate for the lack of, or for the fact that they didn't tip, or that they didn't tip appropriately. But again, when there's a restaurant that has a tip structure broken down for you on the receipt, it's because that server is going to be chunking out at the end of the night. There's a busser that's like, "Hey, want my cut?" Bartender walks up, "Hey, where's my cut?" That's literally what happens at the end of my shift every night. That some these bussers and bartenders, they're right behind us, like, "Hey, break, give me my cut, bitch," because they work hard to help you turn those tables quickly, and that restaurant again. We're the face that they use to crank out those sales, and it's all about the sales. Sell it quick, sell it fast, make the money for the
Mhm.
restaurant.
Flip
But
flip
what
the
about,
tables, turn them tables,
yeah? So
boost
you
boost
turn them.
boost your sales.
Yeah, and it's very disappointing for a server to look at your checkout and see that you've sold $1,000 worth of food, and you only have $150 in your pocket,
Mhm.
because that
You
means you should
should
have
have
200.
you should have at least 200.
Mhm.
Exactly. And that's where it becomes unfair. Nobody works for free. The dentist doesn't work for free. The cashier at HEB doesn't work for free. You cannot call the manager at the cashier at HEB and say, "You know what? Karen here was very rude today, and she had an attitude, and I don't
I don't wanna
appreciate the
pay
way
for
she
my
rung up my."
groceries.
And yeah, so I'm gonna get a discount on my groceries today, and next time I come, they're gonna be free.
Fuck you, Karen.
Doesn't work that way.
It
It
just
will
won't.
never work that way anywhere. You can't. I mean, people get
Well,
taken to
that's
court
another
over shit.
that's another episode because my husband is in the um grocery industry.
Mhm.
Oh.
So,
I wonder if they get more weird. They probably get more weirdos than we do.
no,
N-
not
Not as
not
much. Oh well, here's my
people
fuck that
just
shit
get
moment of
mad
the
about there not being enough bananas. That's about it.
week. Oh wait, no, let's go. Jay,
Biggest.
Jay, what's your fuck that shit moment of the week this
Oh,
week?
that's right.
What's
Yeah,
what
you
made you say
tangented
fuck
off of me. Get it
shit?
together, Santos. Figure it out.
um, my f that shit moment of the week was this week. It was at work. I'm serving this week, and I already have. I guess it was a Spurs game. Nothing about it. I love the Spurs. I love my Spurs. Go Spurs! We won! Hooray! Um, but two, I'm sitting here. The game doesn't start till 7:30. I got here at 5. I don't get sat till 6. I get sat at 6. I get sat 2 8 tops that are both incomplete and only have 2 people.
Jules, what did I tell you about using the soundboard for those? They're tacky.
The rest of
Oh,
their
way
party
too
did
much
not
work.
arrive.
Jules is cut off.
The rest of their party didn't arrive.
Pat's had to get up and walk off for a minute.
He said, "I'm gonna give y'all time to settle down." I'm like,
So they sat an incomplete party.
yes, they sat not just one incomplete. They sat two incomplete parties in my
Get your
section.
hand off of that button, sir.
It was like back to back. They
No,
sat.
wait, I'm gonna do it. It's
So
gonna be
they
a
sat.
full war over here. Knock it off.
Let Jay finished his story. So Jay got sat two incomplete parties.
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. This is such a
What is,
we got
oh,
two
there
incomplete parties, and the rest of their party didn't arrive till the game started at 7:30. And in that time, my third table, because I'm in a 3-table section, my third table gets taken over by someone sitting somewhere else in the restaurant, but keeping
Nope.
the same server.
Nope.
So then they sit me that other table on the other side of the restaurant, and then come up to me. Mind you, when they come up to me and ask me this, my incomplete parties are still incomplete. They say, "Hey, are you okay if we sit you a 20 top?"
If this were in a tip included place, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah,
Indeed,
I want the
indeed.
cheesy poofs."
Instead, I looked at this poor, like 16-year-old
Like
host
you
team
wanna
member,
murder her. You're just like,
and I said, "Well, maybe." I was like, "Well, maybe if y'all knew how to seat parties correctly, and people who have parties, if you know how to treat them correctly, I would say yes to you sitting me this 20 top. But honestly, F that shit. I'm done. I'm done. I'm good. You can go sit someone else that party."
That's solid. I
good
completely
God.
understand your reasoning for that. You're putting yourself in the weeds at that point. Yeah, you want the money, but you're like, it's mentally impossible to give good service when you're trying to handle a party that's just slowly working itself in and being sat a complete party at the same time. Jules, I lost you.